Is your body aging in reverse? Here are 7 things that the majority of people over the age of 60 are no longer able to accomplish. Did you know that if you are still able to do this, your body may be showcasing signs of aging in reverse? As we get older, we are frequently taught that deterioration is something that cannot be avoided. Move more slowly and with stiffer joints. On the other hand, what if some of the reduction was not directly attributable to age but rather to disuse? On the basis of what your body is still capable of doing, rather than the date that is printed on your birth certificate. What if there were straightforward methods to determine the actual age of your body? There are 7 actions that serve as subtle indications of biological young, and we are going to unveil them within this video. The fact that you are still able to perform these activities is evidence that your body is aging far faster than the average person. In addition to putting your strength, coordination, flexibility, and resilience to the test, they also reveal a great deal about your ability to maintain your independence over the long run. It's time to reveal the catch. There are 97% of seniors over the age of 65 who are unable to do all 7. They are not sluggish, rather, they have not been informed of which talents to keep an eye out for and how quickly they lose their effectiveness when they are not being used. However, if even 1 or 2 of these are still a part of your physical arsenal, it is possible that you are further along than you believe you are. And remember to stick around until the very end, since this list is more than simply a score. The fact that many of the indicators of decline can be slowed down, reversed, or stopped entirely by adopting the appropriate habits is brought to your attention here. Your body is able to recall. Just make a request for it to appear before you. So, let's take a more in-depth look. As an initial indicator, you are able to rise from the ground without making use of your hands. When you are above the age of 60, the ability to stand up from the floor without using your hands is one of the most obvious indications that you still have the strength and coordination of a young person. Not only will your legs be put to the test by this activity, it examines your core, your balance, the flexibility of your hips, and the degree to which all of those systems are working together effectively. It has nothing to do with grace or quickness. Control is the issue here. Are you able to bring yourself down to the floor and then stand back up, relying just on your legs and core for support? If this is the case, your body is working significantly better than the majority of people your age. I do remember Charlie, who was 78 years old at the time, falling during a family picnic. He did not sustain any injuries, but he was unable to get back up without rolling and crawling. Later on, he shared with me that the moment concerned me more than the fall itself. The first thing he did was make it a habit to get out of his seat and move about every morning. Within a few weeks, he was able to perform the task once more, step by step, without assistance. Having the ability to stand up from the ground is about more than just having independence. To survive is the goal here. Seniors who are unable to get up after falling are at a much increased risk of developing problems. Not due to the nature of the injury itself, but rather due to the length of time it takes to receive assistance. The capacity to do this action necessitates the presence of 3 factors: quadriceps that are strong, hip and knee joints that are flexible, and a decent sense of balance. In the event that any of those become scarce, this movement will become challenging or even impossible. What is the good news? Even if you have lost this ability, you can make an effort to get it back. Start with making only half movements. As a form of exercise, squat down to a low chair and then stand up. When you want to protect your knees, use a cushion or a mat. Gently build up your strength. In addition, that capacity that was lost can be regained over time. This is not about making somebody feel or look good. Regaining confidence in your physical appearance is the goal here. In other words, the instant you realize that you are capable of getting yourself up off the floor on your own, you will no longer be afraid of falling. The way you go about your day is altered as a result of having that kind of freedom. This is the second indicator: maintaining balance on one leg for 10 seconds without using any support. The ability to stand on one leg for 10 seconds without hanging on to anything is a surprisingly precise measurement of your physical age. This may appear like an easy test, but it is actually quite accurate. Your core strength, ankle stability, neuromuscular coordination, and most crucially, your balance reflexes are all evaluated through the use of one single action. If you are able to complete the task without stumbling or stepping out of place, this indicates that your body is still capable of quickly relearning how to stabilize itself. Something that frequently disappears without our even being aware of it. There is more to it than simply remaining still. This pertains to the manner in which your body reacts to minute motions. The unnoticeable sways and shifts done by your muscles in order to maintain your upright position. Your feet, calves, hips, and back are the areas that are affected by these minute adjustments. In addition, if they continue to cooperate with one another, this indicates that your neurological system and your muscular system are effectively connected. Joanne, who is 74 years old, shared with me that she used to clean her teeth even though she was standing on one leg for pleasure. As soon as she became aware that she was feeling wobbly, she stopped. On the other hand, she was able to reclaim her self-assurance after reintroducing balancing training into her regular routine. At first, I didn't understand how much I missed having a consistent feeling, she remarked, and this is something that a lot of people are unaware of. One of the most important factors that can predict falls in older persons is a lack of balance. However, if you practice it, even if it's just for a few seconds a day, you may really improve the systems that are responsible for keeping you upright. The safest way to test this is to stand close to a strong chair or a counter. Raise one foot off the ground a few inches while keeping your arms folded at your sides. I would say that you are ahead of the majority of individuals your age if you are able to hold for 10 seconds without touching anything. Don't worry if you are unable to do so just yet. By practicing, one can easily improve their balance. Begin by clinging to something, and then gradually lessen the amount of support you are providing over time. In order to strengthen your feet, try going barefoot. Move the weight from one side to the other. Stabilizing muscles that you haven't utilized in years can be activated by doing something as simple as standing on a folded towel. The advantage is not limited to the physical realm. When you have a sense of equilibrium, you are able to navigate through the day with greater assurance. You give yourself more confidence, and that unassuming trust permeates every aspect of the situation. How you walk, how you turn, and how you react when there is an abrupt change in movement. Therefore, you are doing more than just balancing if you are able to stand on one leg for 10 seconds or if you are working your way back to standing on its other leg. You are developing resilience in the areas that are most important. I would appreciate it if you could use the second comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Let's proceed with our plans now. The third indicator is climbing stairs without pausing or holding onto the railing and without halting. Your cardiovascular system, leg strength, and coordination are all aging well if you are able to go up a flight of stairs without using the handrail and without pausing to catch your breath. This is one of the clearest signals that you are aging well. Climbing stairs may appear to be a typical activity, but it actually requires the entire body to do. Your heart must be able to pump blood effectively. There is a requirement for your lungs to stay up. The contractions of your quadriceps, calves, glutes, and hips must all occur in the same order. And your brain, it is always making minute modifications in order to maintain your equilibrium at every stage of the process. The majority of elderly people slow down when climbing stairs not because they are lazy but rather because one or more of those systems has gradually become less effective. It is precisely because of this that this indicator is so helpful. It is an indication that your body is still working together in a coordinated and effective manner if you are able to ascend stairs without holding on or resting. Every time I went to the community center, I would see a man named Mark, who was 81 years old, and he would always take the stairs in pairs. I inquired of him once as to the reason he did not use the elevator. "I'll forget how to climb if I stop climbing now," he replied with a smile on his face. He viewed it as a daily reminder that he was still capable of accomplishing difficult tasks. And this is a powerful perspective to continue into later years of human existence. First things first. If you use the railing, it does not indicate that you have failed. The most important thing is that you do not require it. You may learn a lot about your strength and balance by observing how confident you are when you are climbing without using a climbing aid. Additionally, if you are not quite there, training toward it can assist in the process of rebuilding the systems. It is common for age to take away from us. It is possible to begin by strengthening the major muscles by performing exercises such as squats with your own body weight, step-ups on a low stair, or even sitting and standing from a chair without using your hands. After that, progressively go up the number of stair repetitions. Hold the rail for the time being. Reduce your usage of it as your self-assurance grows. Moreover, don't forget to take a breath when you take just a few steps and find that you are gasping for air. This is a sign that your heart and lungs require more action on a daily basis. Stair climbing requires a certain level of endurance, which can be developed through walking, particularly rapid walking, as one of the final true tests of physical independence. Stairs are difficult to climb. They are a common challenge in many households, and if you are able to overcome them, you will be able to live without aid while maintaining your safety and self-assurance. You should pay attention to how you feel the next time you take the stairs. Regardless of whether it is 3 steps or a whole flight, are you able to rest? Do you have strength? Are you able to breathe normally? And if the answer is yes, then that is not simply fitness, that is youth that is functional. And that is something that should be celebrated. Indicator number 4. Repeatedly sitting and standing from a chair without making use of your hands when doing so. Even at first look, this might not appear to be very significant. On the other hand, the fact that you are able to sit down in a chair and then stand back up again and again without making use of your hands is a more accurate reflection of your strength and independence in the actual world than practically any other test. How come, given that this movement is a representation of ordinary existence? Getting up from the toilet, getting up from the couch, and sitting down at a dinner table are all acts of defiance. The majority of people tend to take these moments for granted until the day comes when they are unable to perform them without either pushing off with both hands or leaning heavily on the armrest with both hands. Strength in the quadriceps, stability in the core, flexibility in the hips, and great coordination are all demonstrated when you are able to stand up from a chair using only your legs. Additionally, it means that you will have a lower risk of falling during transitions, which are the times in between that so frequently result in injuries. I had the opportunity to work with a man named Robert, who was 83 years old at the time. He told me, "I don't mind getting older, I just don't want to need help standing up." We had him perform a series of chair stands without assistance for a period of 30 seconds. To begin, there were only 3 of them. However, after a few weeks of consistent work, he attained a score of 10. More importantly, he reported that he had less fear of going out into the world. He told me that if I sat down anywhere, I realized that I will be able to get up. What a true sense of liberty. It is not difficult to take this test. Take a seat in a chair that is stable and place both of your feet firmly on the ground. Cross your arms over your chest. Make an effort to rise up completely, and then slowly and gently sit back down without using your hands. Do you have the ability to do it 10 times in a row? Therefore, you are ahead of the majority of people your age. Also, if it is challenging, you shouldn't allow that deter you from doing it. This should not be interpreted as a sign of failure but rather as how to start. Supported squats, gentle descents to a cushion, or even just performing 1 or 2 repetitions of the exercise each day are all effective ways to increase strength. You'll get better as time goes on. There is no use in exercising simply for the sake of exercising. Regaining control of your day-to-day life is the focus of this concept. Having the capacity to get up from a chair not only protects you from harm, but it also helps you feel more confident. You will be able to live your life without continually asking yourself, "What if I am unable to get up?" One of the most underappreciated sources of happiness is having confidence in one's physique. Particularly when one is in their 70s or 80s. You should always keep in mind that every time you stand up without assistance, you are standing up for your independence. This is true regardless of whether you are doing this right now or just beginning to work toward it. I would appreciate it if you could use the fourth comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Let's proceed with our plans now. When you are standing with your knees straight, touch your toes. This is the fifth indicator. One of these can take you by surprise. You are not just flexible if you are able to touch your toes while standing with your knees straight. You are also maintaining a young range of motion, which is something that the majority of individuals lose by the time they reach their 60s. Toe touching is not about performing tricks at the circus or reminiscing about gym class. The goal is to achieve functional flexibility. When you bend forward and reach for your toes, you are testing your hamstrings, your calves, your lower back, and your spinal mobility all at the same time. This is a motion that is smooth and continuous. The most important thing to note is that you are also evaluating the connection that exists between your brain and your body. How well your muscles are able to stretch and release without causing strain. How easily your spine can move without encountering any opposition. The degree of self-assurance you feel as you fold forward and then come back up without losing your equilibrium. It had been more than 20 years since Nancy, who is 77 years old, had attempted to touch her toes. Out of sheer curiosity, she decided to give it a try one day. She did not say that I made it all the way, but she did say that I made it past my knees. Because of this, I now stretch first thing in the morning to see if I can go a little bit further. Her fingertips were able to reach the tops of her feet within a span of 16 weeks. It is not about putting on a show, she explained to me. It's about being aware that I can still move about. This movement can be restricted by a number of factors, including tight hamstrings, a stiff back, or an inflexible neurological system. As soon as the degree of flexibility begins to decrease, it has an effect on everything. The degree to which you are able to bend down to tie your shoes, reach down to pick something up, or get into and out of the automobile with ease. If you are able to touch your toes right now, you should guard that skill. Always remember to stretch and breathe into the activity. Make sure your body is aware that it is still safe to move completely. Do not be concerned if you are unable to complete it at this time. Keep your back straight, reach slowly, and stop at the point where you naturally encounter resistance. Making progress does not involve coercion. What is important is that you show up with patience. In addition, here is a piece of advice. It's not just about your body that's flexible. What's more, it's emotional. People who are able to maintain their physical flexibility tend to maintain a more open attitude, a more inquisitive nature, and a greater willingness to adapt to changes in their lives without becoming agitated. Consequently, the true value is in the act of reaching, regardless of whether your fingertips touch your toes or only your shins. Because of the message that it conveys to your body, I am still keen in relocating. It is still my desire to bend. Even now, I want to make the most of this body for as long as I have the opportunity to do so. Lifting a light bag is one thing, but lifting a heavy bag is another. Having the ability to carry something that is a little bit heavier, such as a full grocery bag, without having to stop, shake off your arms, or transfer the weight from one hand to the other is another thing entirely. The fact that you are able to hold a heavy bag for an entire minute without experiencing any effort is a clear indication that your body is aging well. The grip strength, forearm endurance, shoulder stability, and core control that are measured by this test are all characteristics that have a tendency to rapidly diminish after the age of 60 if they are not maintained. However, muscles are not the only contributing factor. The ability to maintain your posture when under stress is another ability that is tested when you carry weight. The rhythm of your breathing, the alignment of your spine, and even your balance are all put to the test as you move. And here is something that the majority of people are unaware of. The ability to maintain a firm grip is one of the most accurate indicators of lifespan. This is not because it is flashy, rather, it is because it reflects the general integrity of your neural system as well as the synchronization among your muscles. When I met Sharon, a woman who was 70 years old, she mentioned that she had been dropping items more frequently. Coffee glasses, shopping bags, and even her keys were present. While she did not feel weak, she did feel clumsy. Our first step was to put her grip to the test by using supermarket bags and little hand weights. Her hands became fatigued after only 15 seconds initially. However, she was able to regain her strength by performing daily squeezes, brief carry, and even wringing towels by hand. It wasn't until my hands began to let go that I became aware of how much I relied on them. She told me, for the purpose of conducting this test at home, you will need to load a regular shopping bag with around 10 to 15 pounds of vegetables, a few cans, or a water bottle. Prepare a timer, grab it with one hand and hold it. You can either walk slowly or simply stand up straight. Do you have the ability to restrain it for a period of 60 seconds without letting it fall? Setting it down, or shaking your arm? After that, switch palms. If you are able to accomplish it without discomfort, your body is letting you know that it is still capable of bearing stress, which is a skill that is necessary for independence. Be not concerned if you have difficulty. Begin with lesser loads and gradually increase them. Walking slowly across a room while carrying something is a good practice. Add time as you go along. The ability to carry strength is not limited to excursions to the store. It pertains to activities that occur in real life. This includes things like carrying a grandchild, lifting a laundry basket, and taking out the trash. You will walk through your life with less hesitation, less fear, and a great deal more freedom when you are able to carry what you are carrying with confidence. Every step you take while holding weight serves as a reminder to your body of its ability to withstand challenge. Not only are you moving, but you are also demonstrating. A demonstration to yourself that strength does not have to diminish over time. It merely needs to be put to use. I would appreciate it if you could use the 6th comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Now, let's proceed with our plans. The 7th indicator is the ability to complete a full body weight squat with the correct form. When you are able to lower your body into a full squat with your feet flat, knees aligned, chest elevated, and then rise back up smoothly without wobbling or pushing off your thighs, you are accomplishing something that the majority of individuals your age are unable to perform effectively. There is a good reason why the full squat is frequently referred to as the king of movements. Within a single fluid action, it activates your ankles, knees, hips, spine, core, and even your feet, all of which work together to bring about the desired effect. Furthermore, it is not merely a fitness test. Whether you are picking something up, reaching down, sitting down, or getting up, it is a reflection of how well your body can handle the demands that the actual world places on it. The health of your joints and the balance of your muscles are also shown by this. In the event that your hips are tight, your knees are weak, or your lower back is stiff, the squat will reveal some of these deficiencies. And this is the reason why it is such a potent indication. Furthermore, it is a predictor of mobility lifespan, which is of utmost importance. People who are still able to squat deeply have a greater likelihood of living independently and experiencing fewer injuries to their lower bodies as they get older. It was Thomas, who was 73 years old at the time, who had difficulty getting into and out of his car, using the kitchen counter as a point of reference for balance. His daughter suggested that he perform squats next to it. Initially, he was only able to make it halfway down, but within a few weeks, he established both his strength and his flexibility. According to what he shared with me, I was unaware of how much I avoided bending. At this point, I don't give it a second thought. You should stand with your feet shoulder width apart in order to test your squat. While you slowly bend your knees and press your hips back, you should keep your heels down. This should feel like you are sitting in an imaginary chair. Get as low as you can while maintaining control, and then climb back up. Is it possible for you to complete this task without experiencing any discomfort? Without bending forward, and without relying on your arms for assistance? You are ahead of the curve if you answered yes. Alternately, you have the ability to regain the ability. First, begin with a limited range of motion while supporting yourself with a firm chair behind you. Learn to lower yourself to it and then raise yourself up without using your hands. Important in this situation is flexibility in the hips and ankles. The strength in your thighs and glutes is also important. Rebuilding the foundation can be accomplished through the use of chair squats, gentle stretches, and step-ups. What's even more remarkable is the way in which this one movement affects everyday life. Your ability to squat is the foundation for accomplishing everything from gardening to taking a bath to playing with your grandchildren on the floor. Do not believe anyone who tells you that squats are appropriate only for athletes. Anyone who wants to live a healthy life, move with self-assurance, and age in reverse should consider using them. Because you are not only able to keep your mobility, but you are also reclaiming it while you still have the strength to lift and lower your body with ease. Lastly, some thoughts. So, let's pause for a moment and think about it. What percentage of these 7 movements are you still able to perform? Which one did you find to be the most difficult? And perhaps more crucially, which one inspired you to believe that your body might be more resilient than you had previously believed? The following is what I want you to keep in mind. There will be no pass or fail on this test. It is a jolt to the system. A gentle reminder that becoming older is not something that happens at once. Habits, decisions, and whether or not we continue to ask our bodies to move, adapt, and support us are only some of the factors that contribute to this phenomenon. Even if you are unable to complete the majority of these tasks at the moment, this does not mean that you will never be able to. Despite being in our 60s, 70s, or 80s, the human body continues to exhibit remarkable responsiveness. Furthermore, in many cases, all that is required is a persistent and moderate prod in the proper direction. If you are sitting in a chair, you could begin by standing up without using your hands. You could try practicing your balance while brushing your teeth while standing on one leg. It's possible that you carry a small bag around the home for a quarter of a minute. There is more to these modest attempts than just movements. The messages that they send to your body are saying, "I still want this very much. My faith in your capabilities has not wavered." Because you are choosing vitality over stagnation when you choose to challenge yourself. Even in tiny ways, you are choosing to challenge yourself. You have decided to show involvement rather than decline. You are making the decision to live not only longer but also superior lives. When it comes to aging in a healthy manner, the majority of people are never given any guidance with regard to what to look for. The purpose of this video is to provide you with a method that is simple, optimistic, and grounded in reality for evaluating where you are and what you can do to improve your situation. So, view this list as a source of encouragement rather than criticism. Even if your body is not ideal, the fact that it is willing to participate is sufficient. We appreciate you being here with us today. It would be wonderful if you could get in touch with us. Please leave a comment below and tell us about one item you discovered today and how you intend to put it to use in your life right now. We place a high value on your opinions. So please do not be reluctant to share them with us. Our inspiration and encouragement are greatly increased as a result of reading your remarks. I would appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it to be informative and enjoyable. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. We appreciate you taking the time to watch, and we hope to see you in the future video.